Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Voices of Forestry podcast. I'm your host, Seth Stevenson, the communications coordinator for the Arkansas Forestry Association. And today we're going to be talking about the Southwest Forest Products Expo put on by the Arkansas Timber Producers Association. But before we get there, let me thank our sponsors this month, PotlatchDeltic, for their support of the show. We're going to hear a little bit more from them later on in this episode. Well, today we are joined yet again by one of my first guests on the show. I think it was way back in episode 5 with Larry Baccarosa, the executive director for the Arkansas Timber Producers Association, or ATPA as we call them. So, Larry, thank you for coming back. I mean, it's been 5 years since you've been on the show.
I appreciate the opportunity again, especially to talk about the expo that's coming up. So it's good to be back. Thank 100%. You. Thank you.
And, this is something that we are always attending with you guys. We usually have a booth there, and we're always very supportive of this event with you guys, so we thought it would be a good time because it's coming up as of this recording. It's just a couple of weeks, I think,
it's
right?
It gets quicker by the day, but it's August the 22nd, 23rd. Okay. On Friday, August the 22nd, we open at noon, and we go till 7 o'clock that evening. And the main reason for that is that at 4 to 7, we'll have a reception period, but we have opportunity there to recognize individuals. And also, that's an opportunity. We have an auction which benefits our scholarship program, so that's why we extend it to 7 o'clock, and then back again Saturday morning from 8 o'clock till 3 in the afternoon.
So Larry, let's just break it down. What exactly is this expo? What are we talking about when we say the Southwest Forest Products Expo?
The expo primarily consists of equipment manufacturers, dealers. We try to bring in the newest technology and equipment that people in the industry can see, but also the general public that gets an opportunity to come in and see kind of what the timber industry is about and what the harvesting side of it is. But we also have a service industry exhibitors there. For example, we'll have insurance companies, we'll have truck dealers and tire dealers, trailers. So it's not just the equipment that's used in the production, but the industry itself and service industry that supports that. So we see that as an opportunity. We only do this every other year, but we see it as an opportunity for the general public, again, and to promote the highest and the newest and technology. Of course, it's all dependent on what the exhibitors bring in, but in most cases, it'll be some of the newer technologies, newer equipment.
And now we are talking kind of primarily logging equipment and logging
exactly.
Tech, yeah.
It's primarily logging equipment, skidders, cutting machines, loaders, that type of equipment that logging contractors in Arkansas use when they produce the timber that they bring either to the mills or to private landowners. That's the equipment that you'll see when you come there, yes.
Okay, yeah. And then just as a quick, we'll kind of pitch to that old episode 5 episode. If you want to know a little bit more about what ATPA does, they kind of advocate for the logging industry here, specifically in Arkansas. You can go and listen to that episode that Larry and I had all those years ago. But today we're going to be focusing on the expo, which we may have even touched on in that old episode. But today we're going to be focusing primarily on the expo, which focuses around logging stuff. So, well, Larry, when did you kind of gave me a sheet here with some of the older dates, and it looks like the first expo you guys had was back in 99.
I went back in all my records, Seth, and that's what I came up with. And if somebody's listening out there that wants to correct me, especially some of the folks that have been helping me, the volunteers are a crucial part of this, I should add. The volunteer support that we get from our membership and others who come in to help out, and if it wasn't for that, we couldn't do it because it takes people volunteering to help move in, because we have a move-in time earlier in the week, and it just has to be synchronized pretty well for safety purposes. But 1999 was the first one that I could come up with. And then I went down and as I looked at them, this will be the 15th one on my best calculation. Now there was a period of time when we did, I believe, 4 or 5 of the Inwoods. And that was a much bigger operation that would be on a tract of timber, 200 to 300 acres, and the exhibitors would be on 2 and 3 acre sites. But that was a time when the exhibitors came out and actually demoed or demonstrated the equipment that they have out there, and we did that in the spring of the year. The last one was bumping up into the first part of May. But I joke about it because every time we did one, we had bad weather. And I'd always say, if we want some rain or something else, let's just do an outdoor expo, and it's gonna happen. So, and then finally, 2015 was the last one of those outdoor inwoods expo that we called them, and then we decided to stay back inside, and we've gotten feedback from our exhibitors that indicate that that's kind of preferable too. Mm-hmm. Even though people like to see it, a lot of people like to see it, what the equipment does. But we're back in, this is all static displays. So yeah, I didn't. I knew we'd done a few of them, and I've been involved with every one of them, but I couldn't remember how many. So that was an eye opener for me too. But yes, yeah.
Okay. And so, that's something we should probably touch on real quick too, kind of, since we're talking about what the expo is and the history of it. What does it take to put on something like this? Because have y'all always been at the Hot Springs Convention Center?
Yes, they've always been there, and I have to say the Hot Springs Convention Center staff I've worked with over the years, and they've been great to work with from a supportive standpoint. And a lot of the staff is still there, and newer people as well, but they know what to expect when we get there and how it all works out. So this starts 2 years out. When this one ends, we'll be setting a date and try to reserve the opportunity there again, because it takes that long to get enough space for what we're doing. Now, originally, we only had maybe 3 of the halls. What we're talking about in this one, and what we have been doing, is the entire convention center, which is about 123,000 square feet. So it's Bank OZK Arena plus all 4 halls. Wow! So it's a large area, but we grew into that, and so it takes a lot of coordination. It takes a lot of contact, and I started earlier this time around contacting potential exhibitors, and there are a lot of those who come back and want the same places that they had before, because they had a good experience with those locations. So we're on a first come first served basis, to be fair to everybody, but we try to honor that as well. But I will add, the logistics on this is nothing like the outdoor logistics. So it's a little bit easier to do in that respect, but there's always detail, safety, and you learn over the years things to add maybe to the next one to compensate, especially for the attendees that are coming in, because that's who you want to take care of and watch out for. So it takes a little bit of effort and focus, yes.
Well, and safety, I guess, is probably a pretty high priority, because, I mean, you guys have pretty big machinery in the arena on the floor there. So how does that kind of work? Are you just working very closely with the people who are bringing that equipment in?
Well, we do, and the volunteer support that I mentioned a while ago, and we'll start on Tuesday of that week. I've got a convention center or a service company that helps me lay out all the sites, because we're talking about 1,000, 2,000, and 3,000 square foot spaces for the equipment, and then the 10 by 10s around the perimeter of the convention center. So I have to arrange. What I do is arrange a time and a move-in date and time to come in for the equipment to be moved in, and so you have to get it moved in a way that you don't block anybody out. For example, if you move somebody in too early that's got a big piece of equipment, he could very well block another exhibitor from the other location that he was intended to get to. So the volunteers that come in help coordinate that with me. I give them, they know what dates and times that they come in, and then the exhibitors normally, they'll drop off their equipment or bring it in and have their staff that help move it in, or in some cases our folks will help do that too. And we also have some pretty heavy-duty forklifts to help move in attachments and things that are pieces like a cutting head on a cutting machine, for example, and that type of thing. So it takes some coordination, and then by the same token, when move-out time comes, we have to be very careful, because by that time, a lot of exhibitors are anxious to get out and go back. So you got to be careful that somebody doesn't break too soon, and because people could still be in the convention center and the expo area. So you have to be careful to watch that. So, and I'll add too, on some of the big machines that have tracks, we have to make sure we've got protection for that floor, because the tracks can very well damage the convention center floor. So it has to be, you have to take some precautions and be careful as to how we do it. But
it's like a weird dance that you're having to do with all this stuff in the convention center. Yeah. Well, Larry, let me ask you this, and I don't want this to come off as too blunt, but why is this something that ATPA wanted to do? Why is this convention? Because it sounds like a lot of work and a lot of headache. But why is this something that you guys wanted to start doing?
I think early on, prior to the '99, it was thought as something to help the association grow, something that would be good for the association, and something that would benefit the industry as a whole by being able to bring this type of equipment in to showcase it. Basically, is what we're trying to do. So, it was really something to try to build the association with, and it got to be one that was something that we just kept doing year after or every other year basically, and so but that's the main reason back was something that would be good for the logging and the timber producing industry, but also to benefit the general public and the association.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, Larry, I tell you what, we're going to take a quick break if that's okay. We're going to take a quick break right now and hear a little bit more from our sponsors this month, PotlatchDeltic.
At PotlatchDeltic, we know Arkansas, our forest, our land, and our people. We are here in Arkansas every day, sustainably managing timberland, producing lumber, developing Chenal properties, neighborhoods, and selling recreational real estate. If you're interested in having a place of your own for hunting, hiking, fishing, or just relaxing, visit our website at potlatchdelticlandsales.com.
Once again to PotlatchDeltic for their continued support of the show. So Larry, we're in the kind of the tail half here, and there's just a couple other things I wanted to talk about before we wrap up. But what kind of value, in your opinion, what kind of value do you think the attendees, both those who are coming to see the exhibitors and the exhibitors themselves, what kind of value do you think they get from attending this event?
I think that from the exhibitor standpoint is that, of course, they're looking at a customer base and increase in sales and that type of thing, but they're also they see current customers that come in and former customers. It also gives them an opportunity to visit and commensurate or mix and mingle with people in the general public or again, potential customers or current customers. So that's the tremendous benefit for them to do that. And I think, if they see a competitor coming in, then they're going to want to be there because they're looking at the same thing. They're trying to build their sales and enhance their product. But I want to thank those same exhibitors, all the exhibitors we've had over the years, for participating in this expo because they spend a lot of time and effort and dollars to get there. And crews to be there to man their booths and be able to speak to the equipment that they have and how it functions or whatever they might want to put out there. So, and I think it's that way. I think it's a fellowship type opportunity for them, but at the same time, sure, they're looking at newer sales or keeping current sales and that type of thing. So, that's what I think the major value for them is. So it's been good over the years. Yes.
And so for attendees, we should probably mention too that this isn't just like, hey, come in and look at all this equipment and talk to these people. Like, you guys offer logger training at this event as well, correct?
That's correct. We'll have SFI certified logger, ArcPro logger training opportunities both Friday and Saturday. So, at the current time, this is something that the individuals in the industry that work in the industry do every year, is get their logger training and then a certificate that they receive for that they need to have. So it's another opportunity for them to come, and we've increased the amount of training sessions. So it's pretty much most of the day Friday and then Saturday as well. and there's no fee for that. Now there's a fee to get in the expo. We charge $10 for 16. If you're 16 years of age and older, $10. Other than that, there's no fee to come in there. Training, there's no fee for the training. And then, of course, we hope that the training is right there in the same area in some rooms adjacent to the exhibit area, and we're always hopeful that if you go to the training, you'll come into the expo and see what's in there as well. So it's another, and we promote it throughout the training, the expo year as another opportunity to get that training done before the end of the year. So, but again, it's the training that the companies that require the training, it's training that they approve. And so, yeah, it's a good opportunity for that aspect of it as well.
Okay. Yeah, and some of the, again, I'm kind of looking at the sheet you gave me here. Some of the topics y'all are talking about, logger safety, I'd imagine that's probably a pretty typical one. Business management for logging contractors, Arkansas 811, and reducing claims and improving driver safety with a certain company here. So you guys are kind of tackling a lot of different topics.
We try to be we try not to repeat the same thing over and over every year. So we try to get newer opportunities for training, like the 811 and pipeline safety. Sometimes people forget about issues like that. And then we've got one exhibitor, and he's an exhibitor as well, but one trainer that's going to have a presentation on onboard cameras, for example. So it gives you an opportunity not just to get that piece of paper, but also it's pretty interesting information as well that you can pick up there based on the presentation. So if anybody's interested in that, they can go to our website at arkloggers.com, arkloggers.com, and on the training tab, you can go in there and see when the training is, what time and date, and that type of thing. They can also see it there as far as when it's being offered. Yeah.
And we'll make sure to link the website to it in the description of this episode. So if you are curious and you're listening to this and you're doing it within the time limit, this comes out early August, and then the expo is kind of later in August of 25. So if you're in the time limit, you can go and check that information out as well. So Larry, you kind of talked about how this was started to help grow the association, and how well have you guys accomplished that goal over these last years? How does it help? How does this event help the association nowadays?
I think the main thing would be to just promote or put who we are out there, because we're a pretty young organization, incorporated in 1991. So I think it gives us another opportunity for people who may not know who we are and what we do. That's what, especially the training program, they can see that, but you can see who ATPA is, and our board members are there, or not all of them, but most of them come into that. But it's a constant battle trying to build membership. I mean, it hadn't been the final solution by any means, but it's been something good, because we get calls on off years, when's the expo this year? So it's been a good thing, but we're always working to build the organization. So I'll have to admit, even though we started off with the idea of that, it hadn't been the ultimate solution to the problem, but it's been a tremendous benefit to us over the years. It really has, from a financial standpoint as well as trying to build membership. So it's been good.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, if memory serves, again, it's been a couple of years now, but this is also kind of a good excuse, because you speak with the radio station, memory serves, they're at the event to kind of get the word out. So you guys are doing a lot just for this one event too.
Trying to promote it out. There'll be another segment with Good Morning Arkansas that we'll do. We've done that before, and it's been fun. And then a lot of individuals listen to 103.7 The Buzz, which is the sports talk show. We've got the zone segment, I believe it is, coming in this time, and there's always a good group to have there, and they'll interview certain folks there that want to be interviewed, and so but that's been a good way to get the word out to promote it out there, so we're doing that again. We still got to do the segments, but that's coming up too. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, Larry, we're, like I said, kind of getting to the end of the thing here, but we've talked about the exhibitors and the classes and stuff, but is there anything else that people can expect from this year's events?
Well, I guess I hadn't mentioned we've got a couple of outdoor activities going on. One is the lumberjack show that's put on by that we've used for the last couple of 3 years. We used to do that in the outdoor shows. Still, sports team would come in, and we did it outdoor, and it was on a bigger venue out there. And this is not, but it's still one of the sports teams that come in. So they'll be there on Friday and Saturday. And then I've got a chainsaw wood carver that's been with us he was in the outdoor expos that we've done, and he's out of Mississippi, but it's called Artistry in Wood is the name of that. So that'll be out, and also we'll have a video game truck outside for some of the kids to try to go in and play video games, that type of thing. So we try to gear it towards family as best we can, and there could be some indoor activities going on yet, depending on the space I have, but that's outdoor. Of course, it gets a little warm sometimes out, but they do the axe throwing, the water tank with the log rolling going on, and the pole climbing and all that type of thing. So that's what you'll see with the lumberjack show. Yes.
Yeah, and I do remember seeing a lot of families rolling through. I'm usually there on the Friday, but a lot of families rolling through, and the kids love seeing the huge equipment and all that.
That's
kind of
right.
stuff.
Exactly. Yes, they do. So it's been good.
Well, Larry, so you mentioned it's $10 for 16 and up.
16 and over, yes.
Okay, and can people purchase beforehand, or is it at the door?
We have it online right now. If you go to arcloggers.com and the Expo tab site area, we've got online registration now where you can purchase tickets online now. So you can do it that way, or get them at the door. And the one-time purchase is good for both days if you come back 2 days in a row. So yeah.
And let me ask you this too before we kind of wrap it up here. So all of the money that you guys make from this just goes towards next year or the next second year's event, or is it kind of help the association?
It helps the association, and then of course it's used to come back in, because you have some fees, the rental fees on the convention center, that type of thing. So it goes both ways. Yeah.
All right. Well, Larry, is there anything else, man, you want to add?
No, I just urge everybody to attend and put the word out, spread the word out. It's a good event to come to. It's done every other year, so this is a good opportunity to do that and see some of the newest technology and equipment and services, and get some training done if you need that. So we appreciate it, and we hope to have a good turnout this year.
All right, and again, that's August 22nd and the 23rd here in 2025 at the Hot Springs Convention Center. Again, we'll have the link to the Arc Loggers website in the description of this episode. If you catch the episode within that time frame and you're interested in what's going on, you can go click that link and get all the information you need from there. So, well, Larry, thank you, sir, for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it very much.
100%.
Thank you.
All right, we want to thank you guys for joining us as well. As always, we want to say thank you to our sponsors this month, PotlatchDeltic, for their continued support of the show. And one more time, we want to give a shout-out to some guy named Rob McCormick for the use of our theme song, The Same Love. That's off of his album, The Folkster. You can find more of his music on Spotify. And as always, we've got a link to his website with show information and music information in the description of this episode. So make sure you come back next month when we'll have a new topic, a new discussion, and a new Voice of Forestry.